Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some major news in the world of Hollywood and films and TV. The news we're going to be discussing is going to be impactful in terms of Superman and Lois and when that actually comes out, because the next season obviously is confirmed, but right now with all of the strikes going on in Hollywood, things are very much up in the air. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so before we get into today's main topic, I want to remind you guys that my new merchandise is available. Link is in the top of the description below if you want to get some nice comfy merchandise, whether it be hoodies, t-shirts or anything. If you like what you see, please be sure to go ahead and get some, because it's only available for 2 months, as I've said, since this was announced a couple of videos ago. So once again, thank you to everyone that is supporting by getting merch, but also to you guys watching the videos. I really appreciate you. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's main topic. So as I'm sure all of you guys know, in the last 3 hours or so, it was officially announced that SAG, the American Actors Guild, so that means pretty much any actor who is on screen in a Hollywood film, are a part of this organization. They're going to be going on strike. Now, today we're going to be talking about how this is going to affect the future of Superman Lois specifically, and the future of DCTV, including the DCEU shows that they're going to be creating. And we're going to be going through a couple of articles which I'll leave the link to in the description below, because this is very important and this is going to impact when we're going to be seeing Superman Lois season 4, because we got 2 strikes going on and they are big. They are American unions. It's not like any union around the world, it's the American ones. And a lot of actors, whether they're from Canada, England, somewhere in Europe or Asia or anywhere, they all try and strive to be a member of these unions. And so you can presume pretty much all of the Superman and Lois actors, whether they are background actors or they're actors who are in the forefront, so series regulars like Tyler and Bitsy and everyone, they are all SAG members, and so that means they can't physically go ahead and work on productions that are linked with SAG, because they would be breaking the rules. So I'm going to get into this and much more. Obviously, I know a lot of you guys are plugged in terms of the film industry, the TV industry, but I know a lot of you aren't so much. So we're going to try and explain everything that's going on and how it will impact our shows. But first things first, I want to break down this quickly. According to the CW News, I'll leave a link in the description below to it, Superman Lois was actually the current second most popular show on HBO Max, aka Max now. So obviously that's some surprising news. I wasn't expecting it to be so popular, but I guess with the season finale out, it makes sense that there is more people watching it. But that's pretty big, because I think that's actually a big deal. If the CW see the numbers that it does on Max, obviously they don't directly benefit from it, but there's clearly support for it, and maybe the CW has to retool what they're doing and somehow get, you know, more people onto their network watching it weekly. I believe they actually had the highest numbers in that last week when they had the season 3 finale airing, so Superman and Lois did better than all the other shows. So this is pretty cool news in terms of us fans. Like, this is amazing to see. I really hope they can actually keep up the numbers in the next season. As I said, there's going to be big delays in terms of when that's coming out. I've talked about it recently. Don't expect Superman and Lois season 4 to air in the mid-season, so like January, February, March. I think it's very, very unlikely, because as I'm going to explain in a minute, there is the actor strike, there's the writer strike, and pretty much all the writers who are in the writers' room of Superman and Lois, including, I believe, the showrunner of the show, Todd Helbing, I don't think any of them can make any progress on writing the screenplays for the episodes. And we got 10 episodes, so they got to write 10 scripts. And I don't believe, as far as I know, anything has been written down on the page as of right now. So it's going to take a matter of weeks and months to get through that. Obviously, they can start filming as they go along with the screenplays, if they're pushed for time, which they definitely will be. But for now, let's go ahead and break down this SAG actors strike. So, as I said last night, they officially are on strike. So that means any SAG-AFTRA member representing over 160,000 television and movie actors, whether it be people in the forefront like big actors that you guys all know, or people in the background who are just there and, you know, they have little small roles. those guys are in SAG, and so basically it kind of makes sense, although I know a lot of people will take issue with, you know, oh, some actors earn millions a movie, but in fact I believe there is a statistic out there for most of SAG's members. They earn very, very little compared to those big actors, and they're quite rare. Yeah, there is like a certain set of those actors, there's like 50 actors in Hollywood, or maybe a bit more than that, that earn those huge wages that obviously could be shared around a lot better. But this strike is not about that. It's actually more about the CEOs and the heads of these companies like Warner Brothers, like Disney, like Netflix, sharing around the costs and paying people a living wage, a wage that is good enough to live. Specifically in Hollywood, a lot of these people live, and a lot of these people also live in New York because that's where most of the productions are, so it's just beneficial for them to live there. But if, you know, writers and actors aren't paid enough, how are they going to live there and participate? And so that is what the strikes are all about, and I'm sure most of you guys know about that. But yeah, so they voted to strike on Thursday, and so now they're going to begin properly striking. So this is from the New York Times. I'm going to leave the link in the description below to this article. We're going to break it down. So the Hollywood Actors Union approved a strike on Thursday for the first time in 43 years. Yes, that's a long time, guys. So bringing the $134 billion American movie and television business to a halt over anger about pay and fears of a tech-dominated future. So their worries are about AI, and basically the studios have come out and said, okay, we'll pay you for, you know, the first appearance of your face if we use it, and you guys give us the right after you've been paid one time for like one appearance, which will be like, I don't know, $1,000 or maybe even less than that, and they will be able to use their face anytime in the future. If you guys have seen the recent Black Mirror episode, that's literally what that was all about, so it's just funny timing. But it goes on to say the leaders of SAG, the union representing 160,000 actors, announced the strike after negotiations with studios in Hollywood over a new contract collapsed, with streaming services and AI at the center of the standoff. On Friday, the actors will join screenwriters, that being the writers, who walked off the job in May on the picket lines in New York, LA, and a dozen of other American cities where scripted TV shows and movies are made. So there you go, the actors are going to be joining the writers, so that means the likes of Tyler Hoechlin, the likes of Bitsy Tulloch, they won't be able to literally do anything. And so we'll get into what they can and can't do, which is going to be a big thing, especially in terms of like Comic Cons and everything, because as you know, San Diego Comic Con's coming up. I believe Melissa Benoist and Chris Wood were supposed to be there. I don't think they can actually go now because they are SAG members, so these events are going to be losing out on a lot of actors, and a lot of screenwriters already aren't allowed to be there. And so actors and screenwriters had not been on strike at the same time since 1960, when Marilyn Monroe was still starring in films. And so dual strikes pit more than 170,000 workers against old line studios like Disney, Universal, Sony and Paramount, as well as tech juggernauts like Netflix, Amazon and Apple. There is a quote from the head of SAG: "I am shocked by the way the people that we have been in business with are treating us. How far apart we are on so many things, how they plead poverty, that they're losing money left and right when giving hundreds of millions of dollars to their CEOs. It is disgusting and shame on them." And I think this is right. Someone has to come out and say this. You know, the heads of Disney, the heads of Netflix, they literally make hundreds of millions of dollars. They make tens of millions a year, and I believe some of them over the last decade have made literally about $1 billion each. And so it's absolutely crazy that they are saying, oh, our studios are losing money, but then they can still afford to, you know, give themselves big paychecks, but at the same time they're cutting films like Batgirl as tax write-offs, when really they could literally give a stake of what they earn a year, and you would be able to save those projects. You would be able to actually let people live their lives. And so they go on to say many of the actors' demands mirror those of the writers who belong to the WGA, who have been on strike too. Both unions say they are trying to ensure living wages for Workday members, in particular those making movies or television shows for streaming services. Meanwhile, screenwriters are afraid that studios will use AI to generate scripts Actors worried that technology could be used to create digital replicas of their likeness without payment or approval. I think these are very reasonable worries. Like, that's definitely what they are maybe planning to do at some point in the future, and it's just really bad to see that, because obviously they're going to be literally stealing people's faces. They're going to be skipping the writers just to use AI out of ease, so they don't have to pay people and they can get all the money for themselves. But we're not going to really get into the rest of this article. You can go ahead and read it. It's actually quite a bit longer, because now I want to pivot back to Superman Lois. So what is going on with that right now? So as you know, as I've said throughout this whole video, they can't start writing, the actors can't be there on set, so the only people that can physically be there is people in other unions, like production designers, costume designers. The directors can be there, but those guys can't go ahead and start writing the show. Or yeah, they could create some costumes and stuff like that, but basically with the actors and writers not being there, the whole production is going to be shut down and put on hiatus until the big studios like Warner Brothers, like Disney, come to an agreement with these guilds, and then only after that can they start to begin productions on different TV shows and films around the world. You will realize that some films and TV shows will continue filming, and that's because they are filming abroad, and the people working on those shows and films maybe aren't necessarily in the SAG Actors Guild, or they are joint members with different actors guilds, or instead, you know, part of a different writers guild, not the American one. So I'm talking specifically America here. Yes, people who aren't American can join it, but that's why you will see some shoots happening in Europe and the UK and stuff like that, because we have different rules. But pretty much Superman Lois is going to be at a standstill for a big while. Of course, I'm going to be updating you guys about when we have any kind of movement, but for now, pretty much you're not going to see them at any Comic Cons or anything like that, because the actors are restricted from going out and promoting their shows. I don't know what the rules are about talking about the show in the past, because if you're not necessarily promoting, you know, any future things, I guess they could technically do that, but I need to really look into that. So right now, yeah, you're not going to see much, but we're going to have to wait and see how this progresses with the writers and the actors. I think actually most importantly they need to solve the writers first. If they can make a deal and the writers can get on with writing Superman Lois Season 4, then when the actors are finally sorted out, and you have to remember the writers have been striking since May, so it's been a while, then and only then, when the actors return, can they start filming. So at least if the writers is solved a little bit earlier, that means they can get going a bit quicker, and then when the actors are available they can just start filming. And like I said, the other unions like the production design, costume design, the cinematographers, they can all work on it right now. So basically they can literally get ready for the actors to come back and start things anew. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I'm going to be updating you guys about this whole situation because it's very impactful for the future of Superman Lois and other DC shows that are coming very soon. So for now, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe and turn on notifications if you are new around here, so you don't miss any future videos. Also, I want to remind you guys, merch is out, link in the description below if you want to support the channel. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.